this is George Washburn and Matt Buchanan from Rock Music Critic. We're here with John Allen from Charm City Devils. How are you doing today, John?
Good, man.
We just saw online last weekend that you guys announced the album title for your new album. It's going to be called Sins. Can you tell me anything about the new album?
The new album, you know, we went through a lot of discussion about album titles. We decided Sins because, you know, at least I feel like everybody has sinned, you know, at one point or another in their lives. You know, who's without, as it were, and you know, I think everybody can relate to that. And we talked about, like, one of the songs, Unstoppable, where we're talking about the ugly in every man, you know, like that anger or whatever, you know, and then there's lust, you know, the 7 deadly sins. We talked about all that, and we thought that, you know, that this record has anger on it. It has, you know, it has you know, revenge. It has all these, you know, the darker side of humanity are weaved throughout most of the songs on the record. So it was a apt title, the record's a lot more aggressive, a lot darker this time around, you know, for us.
Which sins did you contribute to the album?
You know, I've probably gone through a lot of them. Actually, yeah, probably most of the 7 deadly ones, right?
Is there a release date for the album yet?
It's coming out in spring.
Yeah. All right, and what's the first single off the album going to be?
The first single off the record is a remake of "Man of Constant Sorrow." It was it's an old folk song. If you know anything about the tune, that the origins are very kind of murky and mysterious. Like the guy that they attribute it to writing it back in the early 1900s, he was a blind singer, guitar player, I think, and he said, I don't know, I may have written that song. So he didn't really cop to it, and they think the song may be, as far as my Wikipedia page tells me, that it may be as old as a couple hundred years old. It may be back, you know, going all the way back to the old country, maybe an Irish folk song.
Okay. So I heard Man of Constant Sorrow on 98 Rock the other day, and how did you guys end up actually deciding to do this song?
Well, you know, we talked about doing a remake for the record, and we've toyed around with some blues songs and some stuff, and you know, that tune, you know, it was done. It was the primary song in the movie "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," and it's one of my favorite movies. And I was talking to my record label about it, and one day, and he said, "Man, you know, that would be a great song to remake." And so we started the task of doing that. And the hard thing is the song, you know, it doesn't really lend itself to, you know, like really like what we think of as a modern kind of chorus or refrain or anything. So we tweaked it a lot after a lot of, you know, arrangement tweaks, and we got rid of the last verse that refers to, you know, being, you know, on God's golden shore, and, you know, having the name of Charm City Devils, and name of the record of Sins. I didn't, you know, probably best to leave that one off. But you know, after a lot of work on that, and I wrote a what, you know, I think is a chorus, a decent chorus for the song. You know, here we are, and you know, I really am proud of what we did with the song.
Yeah, you guys gonna do a video for the song as well?
We hope to. Yeah, we're shooting some stuff right here today at Soundcheck, and we'll cobble something together, have it out online real soon.
Cool. So what's the Charm City Devils songwriting process when you guys go to work on an album? How do you guys approach it?
There's no set way. I mean, like, you know, every song is different. You know, a lot of times I'll have an idea, you know, with I've heard guys describe it as head voice, you know, up here, and I'll try to put it into, you know, practical, you know, working, a working kind of form. And then other times the guys will be jamming on something in the practice room, you know, and I'll pull out my phone and record, you know, great riffs, and, you know, all the time I've got a backlog of stuff that they've done, and then I'll try to put lyric and melody to that. So it's, you know, this time around, the process was a lot different than the last record. I felt like when we started the process for this record, in some ways, I was writing kind of the same ideas over and over again. So I went out and the producer who did our record, Skid Mills, I wrote a little bit with him, and I wrote a little bit with a friend of mine in Nashville named Kevin Kadish, and the singer from New Medicine, Jake. So that's the song that us three wrote together is the first song on the record, called Spite.
Cool. You just mentioned Skid Mills. I was going to ask, he's a Grammy Award-winning producer that you guys worked with this time around. What was it like working with him?
You know, it's always a different process. Like the first record, I had complete control over myself. Did it in my home recording studio. This time around, you know, I'm a little bit of a control freak, so it's real hard for me to kind of, you know, let go of the reins and let somebody else kind of, you know, guide the ship and everything. But he's such a phenomenal like engineer and producer and songwriter that, you know, it felt comfortable doing that. You know, the sound on this record is just so like head and shoulders above the last record. You know, we wanted to step up our game, and I think on many fronts we have. You know, as far as the production, the sound, you know, the songwriting, I feel has improved from the last record.
I have to agree with you from what I've heard so far.
Great.
So how have you guys evolved since the last album? I mean, you were just a few minutes ago you were saying how this album's a bit darker. How would you compare the two albums, and what's changed since the first album?
The first album is so heavily blues influenced, I guess, and straight ahead, raw kind of deal. You know, where, like I said, with this record, I was hoping to you know, raise the level of professionalism. You know, I wanted to see, can we do it? You know, so we went after it. You know, and I'm happy. We're happy with the results. I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, just the record sounds great, and you know, like, I don't know. You know, just very, very happy and proud. And you were asking how the band evolved. I was saying to the guys the other night that I think that, you know, finally realized that, you know, we're good musicians, but you don't want to stay, you know, complacent. You want to keep improving. You know, it's the whole thing about life and it being a journey, and just, you know, just continuing on. You know, and so I'm always trying to, you know, become a better singer and a better songwriter, and, you know, I think I'm going to go back and take guitar lessons again. You know, it's my third shot. I'm going to try it again. And hopefully that will help in the songwriting process as well. You know, it's growth.
For your last album, you guys went out on the Crew Fest tour.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any tour plans for this album yet?
We have no tour plans right now. We're hoping summertime comes along, we'll jump on something like that. You know, we made friends with a couple of the bands on the tour, so we're hoping that we'll jump out with one of those bands.
Excellent. Do you have any stories, funny or interesting, from the studio this time around that you know, anecdotes that might be interesting?
No.
All business, eh?
It was. We did, to quote the producer, we did a 6-week record in 3 weeks. We really went in and got it done very quickly. You know.
Okay. So they say that downloading is killing the music industry, but this past week they said in the news that digital downloads have surpassed physical album sales.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about all that in general? I mean, do you agree that digital downloading is killing the industry, or do you think it's turning around?
I don't know that downloading is what's hurt the you know, the music business. Anything that, you know, gets music out there, it can't hurt, you know. And, you know, legal, you're talking about legal downloading. I mean, that can't hurt the music business. Things have changed so much in the last 10 years, and the attention to for the consumer. There's so many gadgets and games and movies and everything that's available to you right then and there. That's competing for the music, and I think that's what makes it very competitive and very very hard on the music business, I guess. I think what really kind of was a big boom for the music business is when they shifted over from vinyl to CD. Everybody had to go back out and buy their whole catalog in a new format. So they just have to invent a new format so everybody will go, replace all their records again. But I don't know if that's going to happen at this point. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think anything that gets people, music in people's hands is a good thing.
For those not from this area, Charm City is the nickname for Baltimore. What makes Charm City such a great rock and roll town?
That kind of lunch pail, you just hard-nosed mentality is what usually produces a lot of rock bands. Like Birmingham, England. I was going to say, you got Black Sabbath, but I can't compare, us or any of the Baltimore bands to somebody like that or whatever. But that's that's the kind of the ideals. I guess that's what spawns the rebellion and the aggression that rock has.
Are you familiar with the TV show Ace of Cakes and the Charm City Cakes Bakery in Baltimore here?
I know of that. Yeah, I haven't. I'm embarrassed to say I've never really watched it a whole lot. But yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
I feel like you guys should team up somehow, Charm City.
We should.
City
We should.
Yeah, I know that Duff actually plays too, so you guys should get together and do something. So the question on the lips of everybody in Baltimore today:
Really?
Will the Ravens win tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm hoping for a big win. Houston's a tough opponent, but hopefully the playoff experience of our team will prevail.
They seem to be favored.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we go, is there anything that you'd like to talk about or promote or just get out to people?
Yeah, man. I just come visit us on Facebook.com. Charm City Devils. And we always respond and hit us up and like us, man. We're trying to get those likes up. The labels like to see that stuff.
All right.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. This is George Washburn and Matt Buchanan again from the Rock Music Critic. And John, have a great show tonight.
Thanks, George.
Thanks for talking to us today.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, George.